are come once more to battle, and not all of us will live to see tomorrow's dawn. However, I wish you good fortune for the day. May your names live in fame for 100 years. Yay!
The Second Punic War included the Battle of Ibera, often referred to as the Battle of Dertosa, which took place in the spring of 215 BC on the south bank of the Ebro River close to the town of Ibera. After winning the Battle of Sissa, the Romans, led by Gnaeus Scipio, invaded Iberia in late 218 BC and established a foothold. The army of Hannibal, who had earlier in the year invaded Italy from Iberia, was unable to receive any reinforcements because to this lodgment, which was located on the northeastern Iberian coast between the Ebro and the Pyrenees. In 217 BC, Hasdrubal made an attempt to drive the Romans out, but this failed when the Carthaginian naval force was decimated at the Battle of Ebro River. Early in the year 215 BC, Hasdrubal marched north with his field army after putting an end to the Turdetani. He placed his lieutenant Hamilco in command at Cartagena. Roman troops crossed the Ebro River in large numbers and besieged Ibera, a tiny town on the south side of the river that was aligned with Carthage. When Hasdrubal, in turn, besieged a Roman-aligned town, the Scipio siblings raised their siege and advanced to confront him. The two armies set up camps in 215 BC in a plain presumably close to Ibera, around 8.0 kilometers apart from one another. For several days, neither deployed their major armies but instead just sent out skirmishers. Both armies deployed in battle order and marched out in force on the same day. The Romans lined up their soldiers according to custom, which most likely meant that the two Roman legions were placed side by side in the middle of the army, with an Italian ally legion on either side. Each legion would have lined up in its customary 3 lines and sent its javelin-armed skirmishers to the front. Each wing received a portion of the cavalry. Hasdrubal positioned his unarmed Iberian soldiers in the middle of his line, with African heavy infantry on their left and heavy infantry described by Livy as a pony on their right. Both the Africans and the pony would have fought in a thick phalanx formation, while Numidian light cavalry protected the right flank confronting the Italian horsemen. Libyan and Iberian cavalry guarded the left wing facing the Roman and Roman-allied Iberian horse. The elephants were likely positioned in front of the army at intervals. In front of the elephants, a skirmish line was created by the Balearic slingers and North African light infantry.
Why does everyone we meet always want to kill us? Or sell us his sister? Into formation! On what? Senior! Men! Look to present war! So, they have some honor then? Kill those bastards!
After dealing with the elephants, the two Roman legions in the center advanced on the Iberian soldiers facing them. Skirmishers from both sides exchanged missiles before withdrawing behind their respective main infantry divisions. The Roman legions and the Iberians traded javelins before moving near contact. The Iberians immediately retreated. According to Livy, the Iberians realized that success meant marching with the rest of Hasdrubal's army to Italy, and their refusal to leave Iberia rendered them unenthusiastic combatants. The Romans pushed their way through the unexpected opening in the Carthaginian formation. On both wings of the armies, an indecisive skirmish developed between opposing cavalry, with neither side gaining any advantage. Meanwhile, the strong blocks of North African and Pony heavy infantry on either side of the Iberians partially turned and engaged the flanks of the two Roman legions. However, the Carthaginians also had to face an allied legion to their front. Meanwhile, the Roman legions kept their cool and did not pursue the fleeing Iberians, instead turning to assault the rears of the two Carthaginian units. The Carthaginians were surrounded in such a way that they had no chance of survival. The infantry from Libya was able to put up a valiant fight, causing and taking a lot of damage before being defeated. Even though they had sustained few fatalities, the Carthaginian cavalry and their elephants left the battlefield. Carthaginian supplies, tools, and treasure were taken by the Romans as they stormed and pillaged the Carthaginian camp. Uncertainty surrounds the number of deaths sustained by each side, but contemporary historians claim the Carthaginians were on the verge of extinction and Roman losses were likewise high. With the majority of his cavalry, elephants, and Iberian majority infantry, Hasdrubal managed to survive the conflict. Following the conflict, Ibera presumably gave up to the Romans. The defeated Carthaginian army dispersed to Cartagena, leaving the Romans well established in northeastern Iberia and obstructing the overland route to Italy.